welcome back to the channel. My name is Monica and I post videos on travel, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship. And if you like topics like that, then don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button. Today's video is going to be about one of my favorite topics, real estate. My goal is definitely to be a mid-30s like mogul in the real estate industry. I have been thinking about it and analyzing it and deciding whether I wanted to be in the game for some time now, and I'm officially in the game. I bought my first property in October and I am a first-time landlord. Learned quite a lot as a landlord so far, dealing with multiple tenants, and I'm excited to be purchasing more properties in the future, being a landlord to more tenants, and eventually I would like to definitely scale back. I formed an LLC as well, so currently learning all of the tax strategies, planning, benefits that comes into being a business owner along with a investor and a real estate owner. So if you want to learn some tips, tricks, and hacks that I have learned about real estate up until this point, then you already know what to do. Keep on watching. So the first thing that I think everyone should know is a concept that's very common, and it's called house hacking. Now, house hacking is when you save up the money to purchase a property, you get the good credit, you learn all that you can about it, you purchase the property, and then what you do is you get a tenant who ends up paying your full mortgage. Let's say your mortgage is $1,500 or $2,000 a month. And I'm not talking about New York mortgages, but just for example, you would then in turn charge your tenant $1,500 or $2,000, or maybe you'll just charge them $1,000. And what that does is it lowers your monthly expenses, so now you don't have so much to pay for, because for most people, their largest expense is housing along with taxes, but that's another story. So definitely your largest expense is going to be housing. So if you can house hack and bring your monthly expense in housing down, now that extra money that you have on the side, you can start saving that money to start really investing, whether that be in stocks, in options trading, or even more real estate. So I think it's an important thing to do. I definitely recommend purchasing maybe in the South to start. I was lucky enough to be able to buy here in New York, but let me tell you, sis paid 5 figures to go on ahead and purchase that property. It took a lot of saving and a lot of planning. If you want a video on how I saved that much and was able to do that, then definitely let me know in the comments down below. But it was not easy, but here we are as a landlord. And the beautiful thing is that not only are my tenants paying the full mortgage every month, but now I have money, a substantial amount over the mortgage that I use as savings for the next property, as well as for monthly maintenance or other things that come up. I learned as a landlord, you always need to have money in reserves, because if the sky is gonna come falling down, if there's a chance of it, it's probably gonna happen, because there's just so many things that happen with real estate where just things are always happening, but you always wanna be prepared. And I think a benefit too is that as a business owner, a lot of this stuff ends up being a tax write-off. I think getting a Section 8 tenant is the best way to go. Currently, we're in the midst of a pandemic. This is taking everybody's jobs, 13 million Americans unemployed, and quite a lot of people were not able to pay their April rent. Statistics show that a large number of people did not pay their April mortgages or April rents yet. Either they are trying to do some type of deferment or suspension or something so that they don't have to pay their April rent. And quite frankly, it can be very hard when you've lost your job and you have to figure out what's more important. But if you have a Section 8 tenant, their rent is paid by the government. So I have some Section 8 tenants, and what's beautiful is you enter in your banking information and all of your information, you authorize that you are the landlord, and their rent subsidies are direct deposited into your bank account in the first week of every month like clockwork. So it's a beautiful thing. Whenever it's the first of the month, I know that I don't have to stress out about my tenants having the money, because the government is already paying their rent. Another thing to be aware of that I also learned the hard way is make sure that the tenants can pay for the rent very, very comfortably. Sometimes the tenant might not be able to comfortably afford the rent. Because of those reasons, it may be harder for the tenant to pay. You also want to follow Instagram accounts that talk about investing, that talk about real estate, that talk about things that you're interested in. I found that I had to unfollow quite a lot of pages that instead of making me motivated to invest and learn and grow, they made me just want to buy things that I really didn't need, and at the end of the day, it really had no value and served no purpose. So you want to follow Instagram accounts like Aisha Selden. She is someone that I really look up to. She owns so much property, and she is a Black woman boss with her real estate portfolio. So she is someone that I recommend following. I also recommend following Todd.Capital. I also recommend following Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is a huge one. I love the platform. I listen to so many of their podcasts. They also have a YouTube channel that you can check out, and they have lots of books. They even have an intention planner that I purchased. So with this intention planner, you say, in this amount of time, I want to purchase a property, or in this amount of time, I want to get this done. So every day you write in your intention planner and you map out your day and you do one thing towards your goal. So it really helps you to like move forward towards your goal. If it's real estate, then I would recommend getting that book, and it's also in the description down below. Other Instagram accounts to follow are Blacker Pockets, Andre Hatchett. There's just a multitude. Money Module is another one. Mr.Real Estate is another one. There are just so many Instagram accounts that I love to open my phone and scroll down daily and see the grind that they're putting in, and see the money that they're making, and see the investment strategies that they're making, and it's inspirational. I'm like, okay, like let me go and check out a property and analyze what the cap rate is, or let me analyze what the return on investment is, all those types of things. Now if you want to learn more information about that, definitely put it down in the comments below, and I can make a video on how I analyze a property to see whether it is a smart decision or not. Bigger Pockets, once again, they have something on their website called the Rental Income Property Calculator. Now what's great about this is you enter in all the information, and what the calculator does is it pretty much spits out what your net profit will be after all expenses. Now I love this. Like let's say for example, in a perfect world, your rental property is making $10,000 every month, and you have certain expenses. So you put in that your gross income is $10,000. You include all expenses like your vacancy, time that people will not be living in your property. You incorporate maintenance. You incorporate capital expenditures like roofing and plumbing or a boiler. All those types of things are expensive things that you have to save up for and put money to the side for. You input all of that information, and what the calculator will do is it'll tell you what you end up having left over after all expenses, including your mortgage and all the expenses, everything put aside, even money put aside for savings. It'll tell you what you end up with. Now I definitely use this calculator to purchase a property that I have now, and every time I look back at my calculator report, I'm always like, wow, Monica, you made a great decision. What I love about this is even if, God forbid, you know, your tenant doesn't pay or something happens, you always want to have enough over your mortgage and income from rental income that you're not like, oh damn, like they didn't pay, so everything is over. Another thing that is very important that I am learning how to really do, and I want to share with you, is make sure that your investment income is used to make more income. Do not, I repeat, do not use your investment income for lifestyle. What I had the issue doing my first, couple months of having the property was like, oh, I was like, I'm balling now. I got money. Like, you want to drink? You want to drink? Let's go take a vacation. Let's go here, go there. No, you have to have discipline. And discipline is definitely something that I've been learning to have on this real estate journey. You have to know that, hey, if I have this $1,000 that is left over, or $5,000 or whatever you have left over that property, even if it's $100 or $200, that is not a good property if you have $100 or $200 left over. But it's fine. You gotta start somewhere. Bottom line is that money needs to be put into a savings account that you are going to then use for your next property. You want to also have an emergency account in case something horrible happens at your property and it's unexpected, and let's say, God forbid, insurance isn't covered. You need to have a safety net of money, because the truth is, if your tenant's faucet is leaking, they don't have time to wait for your next paycheck for you to fix it. that tenant is paying for a service monthly, and you as a landlord are responsible for making sure that things get fixed in a timely manner and things are situated. So you always want to have that emergency money ready. Another thing that I'm also learning is about lifestyle inflation. You know, you make more money, generally speaking, people make more money and then they spend more. And so what happens is, like, you're on the up and up always. You never get to this place where you can really invest your money and move forward because you're constantly spending the same amount that you're making. The important part, as a rule, is I always save at least 75% of my income from the investment to use for further investments. And generally speaking, 25% of that is like my emergency savings, because I don't want to be caught out there ever. You want to keep your expenses about the same. Make sure that you're not all of a sudden buying and spending more now that you have more. Definitely keep your expenses the same. And lastly, and something that I already shared, is make sure that you crunch numbers. That's really the most important part about this whole thing. It's not about falling in love with the property or saying, hey, this place is beautiful, I love it, you know, let's purchase it. You have to make sure that it makes sense. The purchase price makes sense, your interest rate makes sense, what your yearly taxes are makes sense. All of these things, what you're going to be paying in terms of your appraisal and in terms of your inspector. You want to make sure that all these numbers make sense, because if you're purchasing things on impulse or because you feel like it's the best decision or whatever, and it doesn't make sense mathematically, you are going to fail almost every time. So once again, I would recommend using that mortgage calculator to begin that process. This video, once again, is just a deep overview of a few things that I learned and a few tips that I have. But if you want me to go more into depth, I can definitely do so. Definitely give this video a like and put it in the comments below what you want me to talk about next. But yeah, that is the end of my video. So those are my few tips that I've learned as a first-time landlord, things that I think that you should do and that I hope would benefit and help you out. Definitely be sure to like this video, because it helps me out so much. It lets YouTube know that content like this is being appreciated and that they should recommend it to more people, and that helps me out because then I'll be able to know that you guys are enjoying it. So definitely don't forget to smash the like button, comment, subscribe, and that is it. So I will catch you all in my next video, and happy investing. Bye.